Thanks for being here at the festival. Thanks for your very beautiful, impacting film. I think you quitted everything and risked your life, both in Africa and kind of in Asia as well with your camera. How have you been scared for your life during the production of this film?
You know, when we started making the film, and it took 4 years, as you know, we did have threats. We got threats. We would, for example, film in courtrooms, and the accused would turn around and take pictures on their cell phones. We were followed from courtrooms. We had to move our edit suite 4 times. So that was very scary. And then, of course, you have the other side in Asia where we filmed undercover. Which was pretty scary, but I don't think we really thought about the risks involved. You know, we just wanted to capture the legal side of things on camera. So when we got back to South Africa, we realized, gosh, you know, what were we thinking? But at the time, you know, it's adrenaline and you just want to get the shot.
Well, actually, Bonne is treating this very lightly. Bonne was very gung-ho going into Asia. I was really quite scared because, you know, it's not something I'm very comfortable with, breaking the law. You know, we went in without filming permits. We filmed undercover. We, you know, strapped a GoPro to Bonne. So I had all the other cameras that looked like key rings or buttons, so I could easily dispose of them. But, you know, if we got caught, you know, Bonne, and the reason we had to do that was because sometimes their cell phone blockers jam the signal. So other undercover filmmakers had told us to just, you know, use extra cameras and take precautions. So that was a big worry for me. So I must say, I was on high alert the whole time. It's not a space I was very comfortable with. I did not enjoy filming undercover. I must be honest.
And also, we didn't tell our mothers exactly what we were doing in Asia. Only when we got back, we said, "Okay, this is what we filmed."
Now I can imagine to be very scary. But I think your film is impacting really well the public. How do you think it does change if we watch your film alone on TV or here at the scientific festival? What's changed in the impact of people?
I think the rhino poaching story is such a heartbreaking, powerful story that anyone anywhere in the world would relate to. At a film festival, on television, you don't have to have grown up in Africa, in South Africa, or in the Kruger National Park to feel for these animals, what they're going through. So to see the reaction from the audience and how moved they are is really special, and it also tells me that rhinos don't own passports. People all over the world really care about what's happening with the species.
I think platforms like the Global Science Film Festival are incredibly important for people who come through and attend, rather than watching at home. Yes, it's wonderful to watch the film at home, but here in a space like the Global Science Film Festival, you've got the ability to engage afterwards with the filmmakers and also dialogue with the scientists. So there's a debate that happens afterwards, questions are posed, there are questions taken from the audience, and not only are the filmmakers there, but also leading scientists in those fields. So we've got wildlife crime, we've got wildlife conflict experts. So you know, that's not an opportunity you get to have at home. So it's wonderful. It's a wonderful platform.
Yeah, thanks. And your film has been screened already in Hong Kong, and you said maybe soonish in China. How is the audience there reacting to your movie?
Well, we heard great feedback from some of the activists in Hong Kong that said that the film had really moved quite a lot of people. And in actual fact, parts of it were shown to the Hong Kong judiciary. And I mean, that was a couple of months ago. And apparently the prosecutors were incredibly moved by that. And for them, they were prosecuting traffickers that come through Hong Kong Changi Airport with pieces of rhino horn. Now, having seen Strip, they can relate to the fact that, wow, this actually comes from a living being. There's this huge trauma that has happened behind the scenes. And a lot of them said that these pieces that they hadn't really thought about before, they're just items, they're just these products that are in a court exhibit. There's now a connection to, say, the baby's crying. Apparently the baby's crying really disturbed them. So that was vital, to bring that connection back to the animal, to the prosecutors.
Yeah, sure. I was also surprised to discover that there is the market also present in Africa. Are you having any plans to screen your movie there?
We've been screening our film in South Africa in cinemas around the country. It also aired very recently on our version of HBO. It's called Mnet, and it's also on our version of Netflix now streaming, so anyone can actually watch the film now. It went out in South Africa, but also throughout Africa to about 16 million subscribers. But we also realized that not everyone has access to television, to a laptop. So we're also taking the film to those people. We've had screenings in rural communities around the national parks. We had a week filled with screenings in Kruger Park, not only to the tourists, but also to all staff. So the rangers, the admin staff, the restaurant staff, the shop staff. So yes, we are getting the film seen in those communities as well. And of course, we need as many eyeballs as possible onto this film and onto the rhino poaching crisis.
Mm-hmm. And maybe to have your last opinion, what's your hope for the rhino? Are you still optimistic?
Very much so. I think we can still turn the tide. I know people feel despondent. What can we do as individuals? But the biggest victories in history didn't happen because of governments, it happened because of people. And when people come together and we feel serious about something and we take a stand, movements happen. So, and when I see the reaction when we screen the film to audiences around the world, I'm so positive because I know that people care, and that's what we need. And together we can still save the species.
Yeah, and I think, again, to speak about platforms like the Global Science Film Festival, it brings people together from all walks of life. So you have somebody who is a citizen of Zurich who's just interested in the subject, wants to come in and find out a little bit more. You have scientists that come to watch the film. You have activists, animal welfare activists that come to watch the film. So I think it brings that whole aspect of wanting to know more, wanting to find out exactly what's happening on the ground. And, as Bonne was saying, we can't lose hope that there's going to be solutions and change that's made. And that comes from people. So, while governments may be tackling other huge issues, of course we've got climate change. In South Africa, we've got poverty. We've got huge unemployment levels. We've got corruption that we're trying to fight. So we have these huge socio-economic issues that we're dealing with. And of course, rhino is last on the list. So I think the fact that people in Europeans watch the film and say, hey, South Africa, these rhinos are important to us. What are you doing? That added pressure really does help bring urgency to the rhino issue.
Great. Thank you very much for your very inspiring film.
Thank you.
Thanks.